I just got off the phone with the customer. Met him yesterday, and in the last 6 months they had ordered a pre-engineered building for their new dealership extension, but it wasn't a shop, it was showroom. So yesterday I met with them and explained to them that by you putting a pre-engineered building in, the columns, the way they're spaced, they don't work for the dealership, meaning there'll be a column that's sticking out past the wall, the exterior wall, and would affect the customer waiting area. I also explained a pre-engineered building is meant for like a warehouse or something like that, whereas you can't put air conditioning units on top because it wasn't designed for that. You can get a design for that, but they didn't do that. So they bought a building that's not useful for what their needs are. So I told them that I'd buy their building back from them and use it as a 4,000 square foot warehouse, and then build them a structural steel building that can be useful for them. So they just called me and said they love the idea. And I just bought a building.
So you're going to own that building?
Yeah, I just bought it.
What's it used for?
I'll build a warehouse for myself.
And then?
For a mechanic shop.
See, in the end, everything works out.
And you know what? For another $15 a square foot, they can have an actual structural steel building with rolled sections. Rolled sections, that means I-beams rather than bar joist. Bar joists are those Z roof structures, whereas an I-beam is a rolled section. So that's pretty cool.
What's the difference between that and a truss?
A truss is an engineered, designed system that it's super lightweight. It's definitely more cost effective, but you have to have it designed. When you use a truss system, you need to calculate air conditioners that are on the roof. Sometimes you got to double up the trusses because you need more strength to support that. So right now we're going to Pepsi Bottling Company in Queens. Pepsi is doing great. Obviously everyone knows Coca-Cola, but we wound up spending some time filling out all the paperwork to be an approved vendor from them, which I was telling Sebastian is a lot of pages. And it turns out once you're in and you do the right thing, they keep calling you back. So right now we're replacing a trench drain. They had a cementitious trench drain with concrete around. And what happened is when you have sugar from the soda, sugar eats away concrete, like it just eats away at it. So we broke out the floor, broke out the existing trench drain, had to do everything by hand because they have conveyors already set up. And we need to put a stainless steel trench drain in, and rather than filling it in with concrete to set it, what we do is we just put a little bit of concrete so it doesn't shift, and then we call in an epoxy company. So we worked Friday night, and today, Saturday, to get everything prepped. And now tomorrow, the epoxy company comes in and they install epoxy. Why epoxy instead of concrete? Because epoxy is a resin-based product and it doesn't deteriorate with sugars. That's why most food processing plants and all that, they have an epoxy coating because it's easily washable and cleanable, and it lasts for years to come. So it's very expensive. Epoxy runs about $12.50 to $12.80 a square foot, whereas you can supply and install concrete for just about $10 a foot. So it's a little bit more, but it's worth it. It's a great product.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of information.